I think the biggest difference that I see is the intimacy of this format, and I must really congratulate you and and Visual ValueFirst for doing that. The chance to interact with a number of people was very high. The networking was very effective, and the topics you've chosen as well. All the speakers stayed on topic. There wasn't too much of diversion or distractions. It could have been a little longer. I would have loved it to go after lunch as well, but I do understand that timings for others might have been a little bit of a challenge. So that's it.
It was a fabulous experience at ValueFirst today. In the DigitalDay, we had amazing speakers. We had a brilliant turnout, and one of the things that I really loved about this format was it was a two-way format. Everyone had great conversations and very relevant topics that is trending in today's digital world. Got a lot of insight on that as what is trending and what are other companies doing.
My experience today at the 6th DigitalDay was excellent. I think a fabulous experience overall. I think one of the reasons why it was fabulous is because it was a very intimate conversation. It wasn't like those 300 plus people put together. I interacted with, I think, 80% of the people who attended this, and I think that just made it brilliant.
It was really nice. In fact, every year when I started coming in your event, I saw a lot of new people. Good to interact with those guys. Good lineup of speakers. Good attendees. Really, I enjoyed it. Good interactive session. That's what it's like. You have to keep up the same work down the line.
So overall, a good experience. A very well managed event, I would say. I met quite interesting people also, and it was good to talk about something that you are currently working in your industry. So a good experience overall.
My aha moment for today were actually two of them. The first one I had was when Ramesh gave a speech on how the entire quadrant matrix has shifted, how buyer relationships are evolving with sellers. And it's very important to understand what was the buyer's tyranny. Are you in that trap? So for me, that quote was superb, where he said that customer may be God, but let's make sure you're not into the buyer's tyranny. So that was my aha moment on relationships with buyers. And the second aha moment I had was on the chatbots, the way they're evolving. When is it good to remain transactional versus when are you getting too personal? So how are you treating your personalization charter was a tricky one and a very insightful one.
I think Ramesh's pitch initially on customer is king, but usko baap nahi banana. The ability, his quadrant approach, that you need to recognize where you are as a company, what is your negotiation skills with the buyer, what is your intimacy with the buyer, or what is your relationship with the buyer or the seller. All of that has to be figured out very well before you market. Also his experience coupled with the book that he's written, I think that together created an aha moment for me.
Definitely the session with the book author was one of the best. I can say that, because when an author talks, he has done his own research and experiences and all, and that's what I believe in.
I think couple of them, I wouldn't call them aha per se, but a very good and relevant couple of insights that I got. One was from Ramesh's session on the book. I think that's a very usable insight, the grid that he shared, and I'm definitely going to take it back to my company. And the second bit was from the last session on chatbots. I think again a very interesting point that came out is the expectation versus reality gap. That's something that I'm going to take away, saying that how everyone today is talking about chatbots, about data, about personalization, and yet it's not so simple. I mean, there's a whole lot of engine that's going behind it. So I think there's a need to bridge that gap. That's the second point I'm going to take back home.
I think I would love that this day turns out to be an entire full-scale day. I think you will do justice to the name. I feel that, so that's really in short my feedback.
Definitely we should move according to the wins. Definitely I will say that. And every time we talk about marketing, let's talk about how we can engage sales and how we can do sales focused marketing, how we can engage the sales heads in generating marketing generating the leads for marketing team, because I have done it for my previous firm. It has worked pretty well, and most of the guys, they are not talking about it in the big organization. I think the engagement of sales heads with the marketing heads, or maybe along with the data scientist, if you can combine all these three people and make up a small concept event or conference or roundtable, will work wonders.
I'll be very honest. I think timeliness needs to be followed. It's a little dampener to start with, and I do understand today most of the metros, are facing the traffic issue, but that's a little bit of dampener. That's again a hygiene. The second part was, like I said, a lot of discussions, lot of articles is going on in this area of artificial intelligence, machine learning and all. So there's a lot of information already available. If we can just, make it more precise and just give one point to take away, I think that would be little more useful than general gyan, because a lot of people have a lot of opinions today. We need to be very focused on what exactly we want.